Let's start with the meeting last night. Many people are concerned about the recent violence at Reading High School, as you know, and both of you were there at the public safety meeting. Tell us about the meeting. How was it attended? I know there was a storm, but you said, Chief, off the air, the attendance wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I think it was over 100 people initially, and most people stayed for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, I guess, and then some left. But I was encouraged by it. I'm always encouraged when we get such a good turnout and we get some good suggestions and recommendations from the public, and we did last night. I mean, people expressed their concerns, but they also came up with some ideas and suggestions, which is good.
Mr. Mayor, what do you think about the meeting last night?
Well, I agree with the chief, and what I'm hoping happens is they could continue to have meetings. Yvonne Stroman, who's a member of the school board, suggested that have a similar meeting like that the second Thursday of every month at the same place in the LGI room in the high school, starting at 6:30. And I would hope people start to come out for that, because there's a lot of sentiment in that room about, even though whether it was 50 or 100 people, let's say 100, that there's still 4,500 kids are in the school in that one particular building. Actually, 47 is what the superintendent said last night, and there's a building that had a capacity of 3,200, so it's like 1,500 more so the parents need to come out too, and I think there was some sentiment in that room to have that happen. There were other ideas like uniforms, school uniforms, better IDs on the students, better control of which buildings they're going into, and whether they can be sure that the kids are going to go in the right classroom or the right lunchroom, that sort of thing. But I think getting the community involvement, I think Dr. Chapman really made that strong. He said it's something that you can't just rely on the school district or the city and the police, but it's got to be the community. The community meaning the pastors and the parents and everybody else who really cares about about the kids and about the future of Reading.
Well, this kind of reminded me of the town hall style meetings that both of you held about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Right.
You had like 3 or 4 of them?
We did, yeah, and they had good results also.
Right. So again, we may be seeing a monthly meeting there at the school district in Reading High.
Well, that's what they decided last night, and I'm going to try to get to them too. That's again
Great.
Second Thursday of the month, starting at 6:30 at the LGI room.
And Chief, how are the 2 officers doing that were injured in Wednesday's melee?
Well, they're fine. One injury was very minor. The officer was back to work the next day. The other injury was a strain, and took a couple days to recover.
Did we know what caused this incident? Because there were different reports, and there were some people criticizing the Reading Eagle, saying, oh, they always blow things out of proportion. It really didn't even happen on the school grounds. How did you see this whole thing?
Well, there was actually several incidents in approximately an hour's time frame at dismissal and after dismissal. There was the one incident right in front of the school that the school board was highlighting last night, and then there were other incidents that was occurring in the street, across the street, a few blocks away. We don't really know what precipitated all the incidents, whether they were all related to a fight that had occurred inside the school before dismissal, or whether just a congregation of kids maybe being fired up about something, and separate fights have broken out. But there's no question that we've had a rash of this year, more so than in previous years. Some of it we attribute to the gangs and the conflicts that result when you put 4,700 kids in one small building and release them at the same time.
And that problem will be alleviated eventually. They're going to be opening up the facility where it used to be at St. Joe's.
That's correct,
Mr. Mayor.
That's called the Citadel, and it's under construction right now. And Dr. Chapman said last night that he hopes to have that open in the October or November timeframe of next year. But the chief touched on something too that I think people need to be aware of, and it's the gang issue that we have in the city, and it's not just us, it's in every city, and it's a lot of times it's outside. But what we're doing, we have 2 officers right now conducting a program called GREAT, Gang Resistant Education and Training. The chief can say some more about it. But I stopped this week earlier in the week at Northeast Middle School and observed one of the officers and had a chance to interact with some of the kids. And I thought it was a really good program. It outlined some of the success skills that young people can get, so they make right choices and make the good decisions and not get pulled into the gangs in the first place. But it also, one of our studies shows that there's a high probability of a young person being involved in gang if they go home at school at 3:15, 3:30, and there's no adult there. And so one of the things I encouraged last night was to have...
Used to call that latchkey kids, remember that term?
Latchkey, yeah. But what happens, Mike, is they'll tend to be getting in trouble between 3 and 6 p.m. when mom or dad might get home. And so we're saying if parents can readjust their schedule so somebody can be there, or if one of the neighbors is there that the young person can check in with when they get home, that would be a good thing too. But there's some things that the parents can do and the public can do and others too. So. But maybe the chief wants to talk a little bit, say a couple words about the GREAT program and the success that it's had in other communities and why we started it here.
Yeah, the GREAT program's been around for a number of years in different communities, and as you know, Mike, for years we were doing the DARE program in the schools, and we thought that had kind of run its course, and we thought that GREAT would be a better fit for our school, and the mayor's right that we think the key is not trying to get kids out of gangs when they get into them, because that's sometimes difficult to do. But if you can fill gaps in a child's life or give them the skills to resist being recruited into a gang, that's the best deal. And you're bolstering the child's sense of self-worth. And we'd like to play a little part in that with the police department. We can't do it all, of course.
The community has to get involved, though. They can no longer sit on the sidelines.
Well, positively, parents have to get involved. They have to get involved in the child's life at school and go meet with the teachers and talk about the child's progress and behavior and things like that. And I don't think, my sense from the school district is that does not happen in any significant numbers. And that really needs